Hello everyone. So welcome back to our design pattern series. Today we are exploring the abstract factory design pattern in Java. This pattern is a super powerful way to manage a family of related or dependent objects without specifying the concrete classes. Let's dive in. Again, abstract factory pattern is a creational design pattern that we have already seen previously, which provides an interface for creating a family of related or dependent objects without specifying them concrete classes. Previously, we have seen the factory classes where you just pass the string and you'll get the created object. But in case of abstract factory, often used when a system needs to be independent of how the objects are created or composed. Imagine you are working on a GUI toolkit that needs to support a multiple operating system. You will have a different UI elements like buttons, text fields, and checkboxes. Each operating system has its own look and feel, like Windows or Mac or Unix or a Linux UI. So you will need a different implementation for these UI elements. The abstract factory pattern help you manage these variations cleanly and efficiently. Abstract factory pattern is beneficial when a system needs to be independent of how the products are created, composed, or represented. You'll need to enforce that related objects are used together. You want to provide a class library of the products and you only want to expose their interfaces, not their implementation. Let's see the example. So I will create a simple package, that abstract factory, and we'll simply create say for example a class. Okay, and where I will create a simple different components, interface button, and it has a paint method. Okay, and then interface checkbox, then it's a paint button again. Now a button can be a win button or it can be Mac button. Okay, and then same is for the checkbox. Okay, so we have win button, Mac button, win checkbox, and Mac checkbox. Now we will create another interface called GUI factory where you have a button, create button, and checkbox, create checkbox. Okay, now we will create a two abstract factory, that is a Mac factory, Win factory, and then a Mac factory. Okay, and then we'll create a simple class called um, or I would simply rename this because I'm not using it. Let's rename file name. Okay, and I'll have a main method, and but before we go into this detail, you can see, so first of all we have a simple product, that is button and checkbox, which has simple methods, so we don't need to understand this much. But then you have the Windows implementing that same box or same button, and the Mac is also implementing the same button. Then we checkbox, and again the Mac checkbox. So now you have a Mac checkbox and a Mac button are the family. So what we do is, again we are creating the Mac factory, that is an abstract factory, which itself is also creating another a group of or I would say the family of the same operating system. Here you can see the same Windows factory will create its Windows button. You can see this here. Okay, so again they are using the factory inside. All right, So now what I will do is this is a simple. I will create another class called um, this is a simple application. This is a supporting application class uh, where so this is a simple supporting class. You don't need to worry about the patterns, which is creating the button and checkbox, and it has a constructor which it takes as the UI factory. Whether you can pass is a Mac factory or Windows factory. Based on that, it will create the button and checkbox. All right. So what we will do is simply here I will private static application, and yeah, so configure the application itself, and then we can instantiate this application class as an object, and then we also creating the GUI factory. Now here we are taking the system property. So currently this is a Windows. So we are taking the os.name. This is a property of in the Java you get it os name and to lowercase. And if the OS contains the Mac, it will create a Mac factory. And if it is containing by default it is a Windows, then it will here in our case it will be window because we are running this program on a Windows machine. So it will create a Windows factory and it will pass the factory into this application which is itself is a constructor over here, and this is an interface which has been implemented by the Mac factory and the Windows factory. So here in our case is a window factory. It will create this thing and then you can call this paint method. Okay, so what I will do simply in the main method I'll just simply create application paint. Okay, let's clear here and run, clear all. And now because our Windows system is Windows, so we are expecting Windows factory will be created. Yes, Windows button and Windows checkbox. So it has painted over here. All right. All right. Now, now let us create a test classes for the same. So here, I'll just click on this generate and the test. Not here. Yeah, generate and the test. And here, abstract factory pattern test. And the first of all, what we will do is we'll write the Windows test because we have two operating system. So void test Windows factory, and here I will change it to new win factory, and here this I'll get the button. Yeah, create button, and the similar way I'll get the checkbox, and that is also from the factory itself. So now it's a win factory, so I should assert that accordingly. Double assert not null. Okay, the button and button will be a checkbox, and both should be the instance of win button and should be the win checkbox. All right, so it's very simple test case. So this is a unit test case. So here, okay, why it is complaining? Okay, okay, so assert instance of, we can directly do this thing. All right, so now let us test, and it's working fine. So now let's do the same thing for Mac. Yeah, so it's the same one on this. Yep, it's working fine. Now let's test the Windows factory over here. We already tested the button, and here we are directly testing the WinFactory application with the Windows Factory, and then we are again taking the same way. Now we are using the application, we are passing the WinFactory and asset not null, that is an app, because we are already passing the Windows Factory over here, it should not null. And let's paint it the similar way. We can do the same testing for the Mac. Okay, it should run perfectly fine. And now we are, if you remember that, we need to check that as well. Abstract Factory, if you see this, we are passing this object contain the object name and all. So what we'll do in a test class, we'll simply setting ourselves. So we'll configure the Windows one first of all. So we'll do what we'll do, setting the system property over here. Okay, and then um, we are artificially taking the application pattern demo and configure the application. Here if you see, it is taking the system dot get property, but we have artificially for the testing purpose, we have done this set property os.name is Windows 10. Then it will automatically change. So assert not null equal to app. So this should not be a null, and now we are trying to print here. Okay, it's working fine. And now let us do the same for Mac. Okay, and this should also work fine. Okay, all right. So now let us run all the test cases simultaneously, and we are all the test cases are absolutely working fine. All right. I share this a GitHub repository for the same in the description, and we have completed the fourth design pattern of that is Abstract Factory with example demo with the description, when also written the test cases for the same. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.